elaborate again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
we're coming. Get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your name. It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips. Oh, your hair. What's happening, blacks? How you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct from Cleveland, Ohio. And right over here, y'all know who that is. It's the one and only Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle, and it's going down tonight.
It's going down.
We are officially 167 episodes here on The Dumbest, and we do mean the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. You are on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair, and so the topic tonight is the natural hair movement faces industry backlash. That's right. It's about time. You know, I wish I could play Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted. I wish I could.
Oh, shit.
But I don't want to get the copyright infringement, slashed. So they still be. I should have played it anyway. Seeming that they
should have played it anyway. It would have been
flag art. You know what I'm saying? Or anywho, it's like he said, God damn, I'm glad y'all set it off. It used to be hard, now you're just wet and soft. That's right. It is time for us to set the record straight. Now, this is a conversation. I gotta say it's a conversation. It's a conversation that's, we've been reluctant to have it, you know what I'm saying? But given that we are approximately a little close to 30 days away from the Beauty Under One Roof Afro Hair Summit 2025, and the most recent.
What you coming? What you got? What you gonna throw down?
I'm throwing down them Dosha tones. That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about the Beauty Under One Roof Summit. It's going. See, this is happening. And so the theme this year is going to be in Houston, Texas, September 14th through 15th. And though this podcast is particularly for the public, but we're hoping some cosmetologists are in the chat and some barbers and some natural hairstylists, trichologists. We hope you guys are in the chat tonight.
Absolutely.
And with this recent situation with the boycott, the African braiders, we just, we got to go there. I'm gonna see if I can find that song right quick. So as we build to the topic, I'm gonna just go ahead and play the beginning. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just go for the distance flag. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, so at the Beauty Under One Roof Summit, Afro Hair, at the Beauty Under One Roof show, we're going to be featuring the Afro Hair Science Summit 2025. And so I'm going to be teaching coloring, featuring the Dosha tones. And sure, what you got? What you going to be talking about while I look up this song?
We're going to be talking about the dysfunction of the Afro follicle.
Oh.
We're going to make it make sense.
We're going to make it make sense because the
cosmetic trichology to the cosmetic experience. Take it out of the other subsequent industries such as dermatology. We're going to endocrinology, nutritional. We're going to bring the power back to the cosmetologists and the barber the barber stylist and the natural hairstylist, so you can understand it. We got to make sure that we understand what we're talking about when we're talking about it. Prognosis, diagnosis. And understand that the Afro follicle, just like the Afro follicle produces all the other subsequent hair types, so y'all like to say it, and then we're going to talk about why those things are. And so we can treat them and get that particular field and money and revenue back into the salon chair. That's it.
That's it. That's a lot. That now what about, the people out here who are like, well, that's what trichology is, that y'all ain't you were sure y'all ain't doing, y'all ain't talking about now. Y'all know now, so are you going to be able to break down the difference between the trichology?
We're gonna break it down. Yeah, but
Okay.
we have to understand what the scalp is capable of doing, what these things and how they work. How do they lose hair? Because we don't actually understand that. Right?
They're just like tonight's topic, the natural hair movement faces industry backlash because us can't take it no more. We just can't.
Well, I think you asked the question. You asked the best question. What are the distinct differences between natural hair care and black hair care? That's and that was a powerful question. Because
I mean, it's these
gorilla in the room.
You said the gorilla. It's not glorilla, but gorilla.
Good.
I think any licensed professional in the chat, or just maybe consumers too. Have y'all just ever wondered? I mean, people bought into the natural hair movement thing, but to date, do we even know exactly what have they ever came to define on a consensus or maybe a global definition or unified? I need y'all to help me out. I'm struggling with some words here. Have they defined exactly what is natural hair? If so, I found an AI definition, but I went all over social media and I couldn't get an answer. So if y'all know the answer, please type it in the chat. What's up, everybody on Instagram? I see you, A New Touch, the Master Pioneer. You guys are welcome. Just let's get in the discourse. This topic tonight is going to be deep. That natural hair is not black hair. Now I know y'all like, how y'all gonna say something like that? Now we're gonna get into it because it's a conversation that we just need to have. In the meantime, don't forget, drop your answers in the chat if you know that there is a definition. A couple of house things I want to do. 2 RIPs. Okay, one, when I was a kid, I ain't gonna lie, I loved me some Lonnie Anderson.
God damn. Oh, now.
Oh man, if you don't know who Lonnie Anderson is, y'all go ahead on and watch some WKRP in Cincinnati. Her and Burt. Rest in peace, Lonnie. Lonnie was the bomb. She was doing things that she pioneered the ways for a lot of women, and acting, that you remember that was that era after what was Chrissy and them and John Renner? Take a look at it. Three's Company, where Chrissy was kind of like the dumb blonde.
Oh my
but
God.
Suzanne Summers and Lonnie Anderson, baby, them was not no dumb blondes. So they did the serious financial clapback. So these are like our sheroes. So Lonnie Anderson, Suzanne Summers, Farrah Fawcett, these women really, really, really went on to do some great things and paved the way. Remember when Suzanne Summers asked for more money than John Ritter? They was like, you are fired. So this is something y'all see Donald Trump doing, baby. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet.
That said, Suzanne Summers went click, click, clack, clack.
Susan Summers was like, well, forget y'all.
She was on HSN.
She started selling lipstick.
Baby.
She one thing about them, baby. She told them white folks, y'all go right on, do your thing, okay?
Way before Tory Burke, way before all of them chicks on the shopping channels.
Yeah, so rest in peace, Lonnie Burton. You got some fans or some forever fans over here. So again, please, I said Lonnie Burton. That was because she was with, anywho. Her name is Lonnie Anderson. I'm sorry, y'all. I got a little mixed up there. Her name is Lonnie Anderson.
Look at that haircut. Look at that haircut.
Oh, y'all don't want none. Y'all, Jose Eber. I think Jose Eber did that. If not, someone will check me if he did not. Okay. Someone will also another heavenly. This is rest in peace, but this one is a birthday shout out to my son, Severe, aka Ruru. He I had put on the chat that he was 41. Baby daddy was like, I think you're getting old. He was born in 1983. I was like, oh my God, he was. Signs of getting old when you forget how old your children are. So yes, he would have been 42 years old today. Wow. So happy birthday, Ruru. I miss you so much. He was everything. I think if y'all don't mind, on Thursday, I'm just going to show y'all a little bit of his little artist, his little art stuff. You know how parents with their kids stuff is always the best. But anywho, so if you know my son and you got a little memory, please drop a little Ruru memory in the chat on Facebook, on Instagram. His name is Devere, but I called him Ruru. Well, everybody who knows him, we called him Ruru, and he hated it. Like, please stop calling me that, but you always gonna be my Ruru. So he was an artist, a fashion designer, a comedian. He was like everything and then some. He was CJ's big brother. So I love you. I miss you so much. So if you've loved, you know how we could just go on for days and days about our children. But I lost him. He was 25 years old. And so, yeah. So anyhow, so that's my son's birthday today, August 1st, which by the way is President Obama's birthday as well. So anybody, Mama Hafiz, happy birthday. Okay. So anybody else's birthday, you know that it is today. Make sure you give them a shout out.
Them damn Leos is something else, man.
Yeah, them Leos. My granddaughter's a Leo. Ooh. Yes. So yeah. So thank you so much, WK. I missed that little whippersnapper. He was just a couple of quotes that my son said to me before he passed. Number one, if you want to die good, you have to live good. That was one of the things that he would say to me all the time. Sorry, this wax is just gonna get on there. Hold on, y'all. It's a racist thing. He would say that to me all the time. He would also talk to me about opportunity cost versus opportunity gain. So he taught me that it's gonna cost you to gain something, because he said clearly you've never taken a course in economics. I was like, shut up, I'm from the projects. He's like, oh mother, sister. Oh. He was flaming gay and he loved it. I used to ask him all the time. Just try a girl just one time. He would be like, oh, no, nothing that bleeds. I was like, oh, you know what? You're just so gay. He was like, whatever.
And what did he call you? Urban what? Urban ghetto.
Urban fabulous. He was like, urban. Oh, you're just so urban, Mom. You're just so urban. But he was like the coolest. He was the coolest son on the planet. So I can go on for days about him. But rest in peace, my child. I love you very much. And then also we got a couple of other, just, getting everybody ready. Come on, y'all. Welcome. Hit the thumbs up button, because WK and Sandra's going to get you guys if you don't. So we're firing all cylinders over here. I see you on Instagram. Y'all coming through. What's happening, National BB? All right. What's going on, National BB? All right. Welcome. Tonight's topic, again, the natural hair movement is facing industry backlash. That's going to be me and Cheryl. We're representing the industry. And if y'all say we ain't representing y'all, that's okay too. It's okay. We ain't got no problem with that, okay? This is just our version of the situation at hand. Also, let's not forget, it's going to be World Afro Day in Cleveland, and that's going to take place on Saturday, Sunday, September the 6th from 1 to 3 p.m. And I will play a lovely commercial about that halfway through our show. And then we're also, don't forget, Beauty Under One Roof's Natural Hair Summit 2025. Cheryl and I are going to be there. I'm going to be teaching how to color Afro hair for both the professional and the novice. Okay. And then Cheryl's going to get into cosmetic trichology with emphasis on the Afro follicle and its dysfunction. Am I correct, Cheryl?
Absolutely. We're gonna go through
All right,
anatomy.
yeah, and we're gonna have like a
It's
panel and
gonna be fun, deep. Man, we're gonna have movie night. We're gonna have that industry fete du jour. After they have a network, then we're gonna go into that damn American curl history and documentary about the curl.
And y'all know
Not,
we have, check out Michael Sterling. He was on, okay? So you can check that out if you want to know more about that.
recommend
Two last things. Thursday, come back and join us with Auntie Dr. George, The Power of Exercise for those of us in the barber and beauty industry. That's what it's all about. So she's going to be here on Thursday. Yep. And then don't forget the last Sunday of the month is going to be the Fête du Jour. It's going down at the grand opening of Frequency Hair Studio with special R&B artist Dave E. All right. He's a very, very good singer. So are you guys ready to get into the topic tonight? We are about to let's get ready to rumble. Eleanor, Real Roots, what's up, Yate? Kay Washington, our virtual co-host, is in the chat. LB, she got my bologna sandwich. What's up, Devon? I'm saying it wrong. Devaney, what's going on, Devaney Morrow? It's nice to see you in the chat. Kay, we see you coming through. Okay, yes, we got everybody. We got Rashida. You done slid in on me. I can't start doing that little stanky. Wake up. All right, Rashida. Weekday, I see you in the chat.
It's pronounced Devani.
Oh, Devani. Okay. Devani, what's going on, Charlene?
Butchering them names, says you be rolling with them names.
I do, because I ain't nobody here to tell me how to say things. But anywho, y'all get me together. So let's hop into it. Are y'all ready? Now, I'm like Stetson Sonic. Brace yourself for the ultimate rare. Y'all know what the carrots want. So I'm full of all these one bars tonight. All right. So we're gonna get this party started. Also, I forgot to point out. Because we're going to tie this topic in case you are not aware, which I am new to the topic myself, that August is Black August. And if you're not familiar with that, just stick around and we're going to share with you exactly what Black August is. And as you can tell by the people who are on the picture, y'all see Patrice Lumumba, you already know. Oh, that's good. See Malcolm X. Okay. Ooh, is that France Fanon? Well, it's fine ass. Rest in peace, France. Ooh, he was fine. Anywho, I digress. So we're going to talk about Black August and what that is and how it ties into our topic tonight, which is about natural hair movement facing backlash in the industry. So we start off by questioning. Let me see, did anybody in the chat take a stab at it? Have we been able to define what is natural hair? Now, we are going to reach out to these people. I just want to let you guys know we ain't never scared, okay? So we need to know, is there an official definition? Is that the word I'm looking for, sure? Is it definition? Yeah. An official definition of natural hair. Now, I did look. LB just dropped it. No. But now we have to do this in defense and with all due respect. We did not bring on a natural hair quote unquote expert, but we gotta be reaching out to them after this podcast because I'm sure they're scrolling on Instagram like, what these heifers got to say now, okay? So here I did because TikTok, in case you guys didn't know, that's the new Google. Okay. So I went on TikTok and I asked for the definition of what is natural hair. And just to see what I could get, you said ask Siri. Okay. All right. But Kay Washington, she took a stab at it. All right, here we go, Kay. Natural hair means without chemicals. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. We'll take. Okay. Now let's see. I didn't ask Siri, but I did ask Google. So let's see if when we ask Google what is natural hair, and we'll see what AI has to say. All right, Cheryl, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, from my understanding, okay. Eleanor says, from her understanding, natural hair is unrelaxed hair. All right, okay. So let's see. What does AI have to say? Okay, Real Roots. Don't forget, y'all check her out. I rocked with her on Sunday. It was the bomb. Okay, all hair textures that are not chemically processed. All right. Okay, so let's see what say, Cheryl. All right. Oh, let me share it. Oh, don't take it down, Lolo. Where is the shit? There it is. My internet's just a little slow here. I'm just gonna bring it up, Cheryl, just so I can read it. Okay.
Okay.
Natural hair generally refers to hair.
Oh, she froze.
That has not
You're
been chemically straightened, relaxed, or permed. All right, on the buffering side here. Okay. I apologize for that. Okay. So it says okay, so it says hair that has not been chemically straightened, relaxed, or permed, and is often associated with the natural hair movement, which celebrates and embraces the diverse textures of Afro textured hair. It encompasses natural hairstyles that maintain the hair's natural curl pattern or texture, including various forms of braids, twists, and other protective hairstyles. Now, that is according to AI. All right. Cheryl,
what are you thinking?
I think it's a crock of pook. I ain't say poop. I said pook. If you from the hood, y'all know what pook is. Y'all know pookie in there.
Okay. Well, have they? Okay. Well, are you comfortable with the 25th anniversary being 25 years, meaning it's been 25 years since Y2K, since the movement of?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 25. I will accept that. It has been a little 25 years, maybe, give or take.
Right. So are you satisfied with the meaning or the definition of natural hair?
No.
Why?
Because if it grows from your scalp, it's natural. I don't care. I mean, altering hair don't mean it's less natural. I'm sorry. Because we fry chicken, but it's still chicken. I mean, you put makeup on your face. You put a bra on. They're still, they're boobs. They're just hoisted on up there. I'm talking about my hooters. Now, y'all got perky boobs. I ain't gonna hate. But just because I got it, don't be talking about them ain't my real. They are. They just got a underwire. And I've had people ask me that. Are those real? Yeah, they just got a bomb. Because we do things to augment ourselves, and that just, I mean, you put your butt in, but no,
So let me ask you a question. Why?
That's fake, by the way.
And
put it
people in the chat, and the people in the chat, people in social media world. Okay, y'all out there. Question is, okay, why didn't we just say chemical free or non-chemically treated? Why didn't we say that? If the prescriptive, is it prescriptive or descriptive?
Descriptive.
Okay. So why didn't we just name it what the definition? Because when we ask what is natural hair, they give the definition of the actual name that it should have been in the first place.
That part, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting on y'all to when we gonna get to the good part.
Right. So why call it something that it actually biologically is not? So when we give the description, we say it's non-chemically treated hair. So why did we call it non-chemically treated hair? Why do you think we called it natural hair? Because
they knew it was going to hurt the dollars. when you tell somebody that you're working with hair that's not going to be chemically altered, then because this was still a point where women were still questioning out exactly what are we going to be doing here. I mean, we reverted back to kid hairstyles of 2-strand twists. I mean, we wore those as children already. I mean,
I know, but I need you to answer the question.
I'm getting a little personal, y'all. I'm sorry. Go ahead, try it again.
No problem, no problem. You and other people in the chat, why didn't we just name it what the description and the definition of it was? So when I ask a person about, because natural hair is prescriptive, it's not descriptive. Okay.
Because the difference.
Because
why do you say it's prescriptive?
Prescriptive because natural hair does not define anything. When you ask them what is natural hair, I didn't say the definition, because there is no denotation. There's not a denotation of what natural hair is. But because they know that, maybe they didn't think about that when they originally created, and this movement created natural hair, because natural hair is not descriptive. Because the definition, after you give the definition, that is actually what they should have called it. Which is non-chemically treated hair, and not try to give a pre-descriptive title to it called natural hair, because that is unbiological. It's not logical. It doesn't make any sense, because natural hair is redundant. Hair is natural.
Come on, y'all.
That's what you do to it. It's still going to be human. So
I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
So when you ask them what is natural hair and you're trying to define it, they end up defining it with the definition that they should have called it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is why your wonderful title for this conversation, in this talk, because this is going to trickle down in this conversation of why the term and the people who created the misnomer, it's a misnomer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As we trickle down and funnel into the subsequent other conundrums we find ourselves in, which is with the political process, the legal process, the educational process. That's why we cannot and have not been able to move the needle, because the terminologies that has come out of the last 25 years are so irrational, so culturally illogical,
and
scientifically illogical.
Yeah.
And so we can't get on the same page now, because natural hair is a category. It is not a descriptive. And when you keep saying it, it is only pre-descriptive. It doesn't describe anything. And when they begin to get into the definition, bingo, that's what it should have been called, because they're trying to prescribe, they're trying to describe something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just makes it really, and that's why we have not defined.
Well, when you look at when you see how the AI, now remember, guys, this is the computer, taking everybody's language and defining it according to what we are entering into the algorithm. So we have to make this abundantly clear, because when people go to AI, they want to say, "Oh, whoa, see, there it is, there, whoop, there it is." Oh,
but thank God for AI, because it's trying to get to a logical place, because it's a bot, and bots don't have feelings. See, it doesn't get wrapped up in the emotionality of the race issue. It's just describing and denoting and pre-describing something
that we're putting into the algorithm.
So it is a little more fresher perspective, because it's not wrought with the emotional racism and all of the discrimination and issues and Afrophobia and all of the other social illnesses that could really actually desensitize people. I mean, it just makes the conversation so illogical and unscientific. So problem solving is very hard when you have very difficult and twisted misnomers and things that are just not gelling and coming together. And that's why also, you know, Black hair care is one of those industries that I find it difficult. And you and I talk about it all the time. I don't understand why this particular industry gets 15 different definitions for the same goddamn thing. As if
well, so far
Go ahead.
Well, so far in this chat, people are it's a consensus here that it definitely is something that's chemical free. And just to read a couple of chats here, comments, feedback already. A chemical hair, let me just put in my press people can see it. Chemical free wouldn't have registered as natural hair does. That's why I jumped to the money grab. It was just, I mean, because that was the era, like when Aveda and all of that. So they had to come up with something. And I do think if they would have said chemical free, it just didn't have that. You know what I'm saying?
But
go ahead.
Don't give this to white folks. White folks did not name your industry.
No. I'm saying that I think the natural, it was borrowed. You know, they used that because during that era, that's where the natural, the aromatherapy, it was just starting to get hot. So I think they just threw that.
How did Aveda even get into the conversation?
No, I was just saying because it was around that time that natural. Remember when everything was the organic? It was just starting to get popping, and I think they borrowed that natural from that world of whoever came up with the natural hair movement, whoever coined, or they started to coin the phrase natural. I think it came out of that time when the beauty industry was going.
You guys are jumping over the braid and the lock era. That's where it came from. It didn't come from retail. It didn't come from brands. It didn't come from there. It came from braids and locks. Now you have to remember 1993, 1994, 1995. You had the rush of the lock shops and the braid shops. Okay. Then you had that era of, we had a chemical free, but you also have to remember during that era, you had the push of natural products. The word came from natural products. It was
that's what I meant. That's what I was, you know, I'll talk. I ain't smart like damn. What's her name? What we call her, y'all? We got a name for her. We call her Cornell West and Amos Wilson. But that's where I was going with that. I thought we got it. I'm sorry, I didn't put that out there like that, y'all. It's so smart, y'all. But anywho, and that's why I was going with that, though. I just wasn't saying it like that. But go ahead, keep going, because Kay Washington said most women who went natural were coming from applying chemicals to our hair for decades. So natural just made sense.
Right. And let me just say this, but we didn't use the word natural. We used the word chemical free. You guys keep forgetting that everybody went natural ingredients in the products first. You didn't go natural in the salon first. You went from that, and I'm talking about colloquially, talking about the lexicon. The lexicon was natural ingredients first. That's where it came from, because we didn't use natural as it was germane to hair. We use non-chemical and chemical free. Or what we used as virgin
hair. Yeah, I was gonna say, but I was just trying to wait.
Yeah, had no lexic. You didn't go in no salon asking for no natural hairstyle.
Or yeah, Yeah. So I would agree. Eleanor says her guess is that it didn't come from cosmetologists. It came from regular girls who just wanted to cut the perm and not knowing that the perm is a relaxer. Okay, so that's another school of thought. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. I see my boss just came through. So y'all know what y'all got to do when the boss comes through, right? Y'all got to drop them L's in the chat. So Lavina, it's so nice to see you. I miss you, boo-boo. All right. And if y'all want to see my boss in real life, just go check her out right here on Facebook because the girl is fine and she's the best dressed boss in America. But anywho, so now we can see where the natural kind of came from, but that doesn't necessarily fit. I agree. I don't know why they just didn't
Everybody
say.
was obsessed with natural ingredients first. We was
Mhm.
just obsessed with that shit. Jane Carter, this natural product. Then that's where you get into the Evada. Everybody was, and then when we started to see the lexicon doesn't change just because the lexicon started to change and the relationship began to change when we started wanting, chemical free products. That's when we started getting into. I know you remember the Rene Fruitier, and then you remember,
Yeah.
all these products, and then that vernacular came into the lexicon that way. And that's when,
Right.
but natural hair movement as a descriptive behavior, then we started saying, then we made it into an industry. Then we started saying the natural hair care industry. So but we have not defined it as a denotation and a description of what it actually is. And
Right.
we
I
don't know
don't
what it
think you're gonna get that community to come together and do what you're asking, but we'll see what happens when we get them on here. There are 3 organizations. I'm going to see if we can get them on and see if they will share with us, their school of thought, just so we can understand, where they're coming from. Because we sound mighty, facetious and ill intent talking about this without them on. But we just got to get this conversation going.
and
The natural hair movement. Mhm.
let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you a question. I believe that the intent 1997, 1998, 1999, boom, Y2K. I believe that its goal was to be chemical free.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
I think
not
after
natural, because it had not been defined. They were trying to be chemical free. And I
well,
don't
once good hair came out and
huh?
once good hair came out and they dropped with the creamy crack, that was a set it off moment. That's to me when they really went into overdrive because now creamy crack, crack was already bad. So if you were
Right.
putting, they just went woo wee, they just went there. So I went on TikTok and I said, well, let's see what they're saying about what natural hair, and I just could not find anything. It was just so much stuff, but I did find this one that I think you all are gonna like. This gentleman is attempting to define natural hair. Here we go.
And don't get me started if you have 4C hair. We got to make sure we detangle. We got to make sure we wash, pre-wash, co-wash, de-wash, prepay wash, set it aside wash. Let me do it 3 hours before an advanced wash. Then I got to make sure.
All right. There. It's not me.
And don't get me started if you have 4C hair. We got to make sure we detangle. We got to make sure we wash, pre-wash, co-wash, de-wash, prepay wash, set it aside wash. Let me do it 3 hours before an advanced wash. Then I got to make sure I detangle. Then I got to make sure I can have a protective style in. I got to have some bohemian box braids. I got to have some bohemian twists. I got to have me some deep wave body babe. Hop, pop, I would do grain root, drop a do, hop, pop, papa juice. Braids, I got to have me.
More again. This is coming off of TikTok. He's trying to define natural hair. All right, here we go. Let's see if I can
And
do it
don't
one
get me
more time.
started if you have
Come on.
4C hair. We got to make sure we detangle. We got to make sure we wash, pre-wash, co-wash, de-wash, prepay wash, set it aside wash. Let me do it 3 hours before an advanced wash. Then I got to make sure I detangle. Then I got to make sure I can have a protective style in. I got to have some bohemian box braids. I got to have some bohemian twists. I got to have me some deep wave body babe. Bop, bop, I would do grain grooves, drop a do, hop, pop, papa juice. Braids, I got to have me.
Oh my God.
Come on now, y'all. Sometimes you just gotta laugh. Come on now, y'all. You just gotta laugh. We're over here on Instagram.
Oh my God.
That's what me and Show. He just captures it so well. But on to the topic. Let's keep going with this thing about natural hair. A new touch over here on Instagram says, because you call a virgin if it's non-chemically treated, right? And that was a term that we would use. We would say virgin hair. But I don't think they could say. I don't think they went with virgin because they felt like it had already had some chemicals, so it wasn't pure. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you're saying
they could have went with virgin.
Right. They went over what had already been established.
I like that.
And because it wasn't okay, so it was pre big chop. So what's the difference between the big chop to get version than the big chop to get natural?
I don't know. So you picking, you're reaching there.
I'm just saying.
We're just trying to get you guys to kind of see some of the, this is why I said it once and I'm just gonna say it again. Y'all know what I'm gonna say, right? I still can't believe Black women fell for it. I just couldn't, because like Cheryl said, we already had a term for that. It was virgin hair. And if it grew,
okay.
I mean,
you're
go
right.
ahead.
So, because they were actually anti-establishment, they could not use any of the terms from cosmetology, and they had to make it up as they went.
Well, they ended up borrowing, and at the end of the day, because it started losing traction. But that's a good point. What's going on, Vijo? Avijo, Avijo, I don't know. I hope I'm saying it right. Okay. She said, but women are pressured.
No, I'm just
okay. All right. But women are pressured to make 4C hair look like 3C hair, which is making these wash days long. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Now. I'm trying to get, because y'all don't realize that because I'm so far removed, right? And I'm really far removed. I'm not in the salon like Kilolo. So in an unnatural manner, you're trying to make the nature of your hair look unnaturally natural. Because in order to have 4C be 3C, you got to do something unnatural to it. Why don't you just wear an afro? Like your grandmama and your mama did. Because you do know.
Well, you know what they gonna say.
Okay, what they gonna say?
Grandma hair was too what? Come on, y'all. This is why we gotta have this conversation.
Okay.
It was too pickaninny. It was too marmly. It was them plaits.
It was too Angela.
It was because Grandma also wore them plaits.
Was it too Angela Davis and too Asata Shakur?
too 70s, too played out, you know. Because that's the other thing, you know, they're going through all of this to make 4C hair look like 3C hair. I've said over and over, and I've recommended, and I continue to recommend it. Just wear an afro.
Okay, so now, y'all gave the most natural, dominant hair the 4th place. Call it and put a letter to it. Then to make it go more towards 1, which is straight. Why don't you guys just say you want your hair more straight looking? And but you vilified the chemical of choice in the cosmetic alteration of women who just got the curl. Why didn't you just get a curl? You're still trying to alter it. You're still trying to make it look unnatural. You're still trying to make it look like something that's not natural to you, to your texture. So
here we got a response. Here we go. This is a good one, Eleanor. She said, hey, we got to think about the age range and how terms change with times. Virgin versus natural. Yes, it's the same, but the background education of hair is the difference. And on that note, can I play my cue? I'm going to leave it up, but now I can bring in, because the last but after but is where we say what Ice Cube has to say. I'm going to repeat it one more time. I'm going to cue it up. She says, you guys have to think about the age range and how terms change with the times. Virgin versus natural. Yes, it's the same, but the background education of hair is the difference. Eleanor, if I could, I would French kiss you, but I know you don't get down like that. So what I've got to do is go ahead on and cue in my song. We're going to take a risk and get we do not own the rights to the music, but we don't own the right to do it because we don't have no choice.
Maceo,
they ain't giving us no choice but to do it. So we got to go ahead on and let's see if I can bring.
Oh man,
bring it up and just let it rip.
Hold on. I think Eleanor hit that.
Oh yeah, it ain't.
Oh, did it freeze? Oh man, it didn't play.
I got this to all the natural hair for perpetuate right now here.
We don't hear it.
Eleanor, you got it going.
No, Beth, I can't hear it. Can you hear it? Lolo. Oh man.
Here's what they think about. Here's what they think. Here's what they think about. 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 Fuck all you.
Goddamn, I'm glad y'all.
But we had to Compton. All right, Cheryl, it was kind of slow on the pickup there, but we got it in as best we could. You couldn't hear it at all?
No, it didn't play at all. You was over there jamming, and we didn't hear it. Your internet is extremely slow. You're freezing. You need to come in and come back out. Hey, come on now, Kilolo. What are you doing with your internet, man? All right, guys. I don't know about you, but it Kilolo, you froze on.
Anybody hear it?
Sis,
It was
forget it.
blowing on my.
Forget it. It doesn't play. And your internet is going in and out, sis. We're gonna have to just leave the extra media out. We lost you, Kilolo. We lost you, Kilolo. Listen, guys. Okay, until after Kilolo comes back. I think that Eleanor, you are absolutely correct. The background, your butt is, man, it's saying a lot, because the background is what this podcast and what Ladosha and I are trying to express, is that there are some missing pieces, because the language of cosmetology, and ironically that this industry would be trying to now become regulated. And so now you're going to pick up all of the cultural. Wow, you're in the middle.
That's okay. We back.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't hear any of it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Right. No, but I was basically saying, and just giving Eleanor her props. But that is the purpose of this podcast, is to be able to connect the butt. The new education that has created the glossary terms that we are using in the commercial sense, the retail sense, to describe what we're doing culturally inside the movement. But it is certainly not Black hair care. And our industry vernacular and lexicon is, in the language, and is to provoke the images that are actually more akin to actually what the meaning and the denotation of the word means. Because natural hair is redundant. You're describing the same thing. Hair and natural it means each other. So natural to describe the hair, and hair to describe to pre-describe what you're talking about in terms of natural hair. You're talking about the cosmetic orientation without cosmetic alteration. That's what you're describing.
So now the question becomes, how are we to the point where the natural hair movement, like they're facing the backlash from the industry, because our what do you call that thing? Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What do you call our graphic for today is where we're questioning that natural hair is not Black hair. So now we can get a little bit deeper into the distinction, because what we start to see is that when particularly journalists and even hairstylists and even some educators, now when they talk about natural hair, now it's grouped into Black hair. So now we have a clear understanding on the mix-up, which is what did you call it, the conundrum, or
well, it could be it's a dilemma. It's a hiccup. I mean, it's a glitch that is going to determine the wealth effect of Black America, because natural hair is it's
like a double. Remember that when you were in English, it's like a double negative makes it a positive, something like that.
Yeah, it's a oxymoron.
There we go.
It's a misnomer, because it doesn't really exist. But that particular work, that phrase, that predescriptive of a category of a movement, it's really a falsehood, because it only represents a trend. It does not represent Black hair care. Black hair is an industrial complex, a historical economic engine, a economic era. It is it is an economic it has all of the makings of the economy of the wealth generation and the value and assets of what comes with a industrial complex. How the economic and how the assets within this industrial complex is interwoven categorically, which means shampoos, and all in things that is, you know what I mean, stakeholders, stock, all of these financial terms are fitting into what we call the industrial complex. That is black hair care. And just to make sure that you guys know that natural hair is not black hair care, is because natural hair is a movement in a time capsule, in a chronological time period that created trends and then created brands. Brands are individual privately owned companies within a trend. Black hair care was an industrial complex owned by people under the term black. They were black people dealing with personal hair care.
We're just waiting for Cheryl to come back in. We apologize for this serious technical difficulty. There you go. We're back. Oh my goodness. Okie dokie. Oh, we're gonna let her come back in. We shall see what's going on. We apologize. I'm not quite sure what's happening here. I don't know what's going on with this Wi-Fi. But again, we are continuing our discussion about natural hair movement faces industry backlash. We are now in the process of Shirley's taking us through examining natural hair and black hair and why it will not fit into that description. I'm not sure. Like, woo.
No. I was talking.
Yeah.
I had not.
Oh, okay.
My screen had not. I did not disconnect. I just disconnected because you said it. But wow, that was weird. That was weird. Anyway, can you can hear me because you have a delay. You have a delay, Ladosha. Hello? The government is listening.
Hello?
Why the internet is
I think she's telling the truth. Okay. Am I on with you now, Cheryl?
Yeah, absolutely. I see you. I just don't see you actually responding.
Okay.
Okay, you're responding.
Well, I'm here.
In real time. We're here. Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but anywho, let's keep going.
Okay. So as I was saying, I think that is the difference between what we talk about. Natural hair is a trend that falls within a length of time in terms of retail connections, retail success, brand success. Those are privately owned companies. Black hair care is an industrial, complete, intersectional, connected of all sectors of what an industry is made of, with the word black, which infers and is connected to the color and race and ethnicity of the people who are in control over it. That is what black hair care is. And that is not natural hair care. And that's why me and you have to make sure that we are distinctive enough to make sure that natural hair is not black hair care. And we don't know why they're using black hair care to describe what they are doing inside of right. And it's important.
Well, I think what's happening. Well, I think what's happening with that is simply because they're black people, and so it's kind of like you're getting a pass. But we have to make sure that you guys understand the whole, the entirety and the massiveness, and the how pertinent, the black hair industry is, or maybe was, now that we see what happened to it as a result of the natural hair movement, which is something that we have to talk about. Is that I think, to Eleanor's point earlier, before we start the buffering situation, is that she was explaining to us that those people who kind of push the natural hair movement, it was almost as if now they're not here, we're going to bring them on and hopefully they will be able to explain and say that. But I think they forgot about the past, or maybe they just didn't consider it, and maybe they didn't know it was going to take off like it did. But to me, that is one of the biggest problems, is that they didn't know about the past, number one, and number two, the whole educational component, which in the beginning, that natural hair movement was anti-education. They were very proud of themselves for partnering with the Institute for Justice to get them to work with no education, no licensure. And now you see a reversal process. And then, like you always said, Cheryl, we already had that in place, but for some reason, it just got lost.
Well, it's the same. If I could really make us understand, you guys have to understand that the medical world has a relationship, what we call pharma, big pharma. The reason why they call them big pharma is because that is who controls the research and development, the containers and product, and how they get the medicines to the pharmacy. Because when you get a script, they call in your prescription, and then you go to the pharmacy and go. That is the same as the professional beauty supply. Okay. But the natural world is connected to what we call OTC medicines, like NyQuil and Sudafed and that. But the black hair care is the equivalent of big pharma. It is the industrial portion that does the research and development and the public safety and all of the lobbying to make sure that we're safe, and the education and all of that. But to conflate the two, the OTC market that creates natural ways of vitamin C's and GNCs and all of these other retail versions of what medicines are, to not conflate those types of products with big pharma.
Right, because one of the things that that we continue to see in the hair salon, resulting from the natural hair movement, now you guys can just help me out with this a little bit, is that one of the biggest reasons for the natural hair movement, because allegedly professional hairstylists were not meeting the demands of the change of quote unquote going natural. And so they turned to social media, who gave them no more instructions, I guess, than we did. And I'm not saying that cosmetologists and barbers, were always forthright and that they always did give the information, but it is to my understanding, from what I've been in the industry for 25 years, that for the most part, cosmetologists and barbers have always taught people what to do with their hairstyles when they left home. Now, some people would get it and some people would not. So, like I said, I don't want to conflate that. But now you have the natural hair movement. People knew what to do with the relaxer. They knew when to back. They knew what to do when they got color. They know when to come back. They knew what to do when they got a curl, when they a cut, a bob, whatever. But this afro, this natural hair rather, they didn't know what to do. They know what to do with an afro. A barber taught them how to pick it out. But the natural hair movement has produced like a generation of people who have no concept of when to comb their hair, what to comb their hair with, things of that nature. That's just ludicrous.
But let me ask you a question. What was the happenstance that deconstructed our knowledge of how to comb hair to the point where we needed to have novices recreate, make it up as they went. Like what was the moment? Now, let me just say this, and I want to be very clear. As a stakeholder and stockholder and someone who loves Black people, especially my Black sisters and their hair, I really want to know, and we are trying to really gather the intel to really understand what was meant and intended, because we want to know when there was a time that you did not know how to comb your hair. When did that happen? And why did you need it? If you already knew how to wash your hair, what was it about co-washing? Why did we need to make that up? Because there are things that happen in order to create the lexicon and the glossary of terms. Now, I know they're not apropos or appropriate today. I know they're probably out of vogue now. But if they're out of vogue now, did they need to be in vogue then? And what was that about? Because I have some theories.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead on and say it. And again, once we get them, once they come on, I'm telling y'all, I'm taking no prisoners, taking no shorts. Okay. The biggest misconception and promotion of dis and misinformation about the natural hair movement was they came out the gate with the concept, and I don't know that they realized that people were interpreting their instructions as this was going to be carefree, like a jerry curl. And that,
but
to me,
carefree
is
when
where,
it is treated. But it cannot be. But you're absolutely right.
I know, but that to me, that's where the natural hair movement just really, to me, started to, they just lost all credibility with me. I mean, the people that were coming to the hair salons were like, they were going to tell us what to do, like with finger combing and spraying water on hair and deep conditioners. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And as licensed professionals, we're like, no, this whole porosity situation, I mean, just out of control. And to me, that was the biggest concern for me as a professional about the natural hair movement. Was number one, people did not know how to comb it, didn't think they had to comb it, and how it hurted and things of that nature. So to me, that's where it just got all messed up. And now people are coming to the resolve that this is hair I am going to have to manage, whatever hairstyle that needs management is. Now let's see what the chat has to say. Okay. But that's, to me, where the breakdown, started to happen in that natural hair movement. I mean, you had, I'll never forget when I went on African Hair God's page, and there was a lady who talked about the hair would be crunchy. Now, maybe her words wasn't the best. I don't know. I mean, I knew exactly what she was saying. That if you put this water in your hair and you let it just sit and dry, you're going to have a situation. And people were appalled that, number one, that she even said it. And number two, they didn't like the words that she was using, like the hair was crunchy. But that is what happens to the hair when you spray water on it and you let it just sit and you keep putting more stuff. It's going to have a funny smell. It's going to be crunchy, and so I think it's just things like that this natural hair movement has cost so many people so much unnecessary strife and time and money. And ethically, that just bothers me, because it didn't have to be that way, because we had a solution for Afro hair, for hair that grows from your scalp that you did not put any chemicals on it. It was called braid it down and pick it out. And you have to do it every single day. Every other day at the most, the longest. But putting plaits in your hair and trying to leave them in for months and months and months, and then wonder why is it breaking? This thing called slow grow, or my hair won't grow, and all this cockamamie stuff. It was just out of control.
Well, that's what we're going to learn at the Beauty Under One Roof, because one of the things that I think the natural hair care movement, or natural hair, trying to get to some semblance of blackness. And when you understand the nature of a coil, nature of curls, it's not in the category of natural hair. The natural hair is a cult-like behavior pattern that has a set of information that creates locked in, restricted, oppressive, and kind of stagnant behavior patterns that do not allow the outside information, intel, and other forms of information to reorientate, to be able to have your wants, needs, and desires actually have a set of information that is applicable to create that result. But the problem,
you hit a bomb on that. That's a bomb drop. That is a bomb drop. Y'all gotta understand the bomb drop to what she just said. Please replay it. Here you go.
Okay. Now, when the babies in what she's talking about are trying to comb and get to this soft, light, fluffy, smooth, detangled type of tress or hair, strands, or whatever you guys want to call it, the application techniques must be conducive to the result. You cannot have colloquial terms and glossary terms that are in opposition to what you're trying to do. And that is the information of natural hair. Those words and methods and techniques are not found in the industrial cosmetological arena. It's not there. It's called black hair care. Those results, or those roadblocks, or those types of irrational kind of cult do's and don'ts, dislikes and likes, what you should do, and it's really weird, because they're all trying to get to some semblance of being their pure natural self. And one of the things that I teach in every class and talking about this, you guys are dealing with a thought process, because any Afrocentric thought process is so large, it allows all forms to coexist. There is no discrimination or reverse discrimination inside of the subject. And that is what's so difficult about moving us forward in to regain our legacy, to regain our inheritance, to regain the industrial complex, because right now, to lower it into what we call natural hair, it allows it to be susceptible, to be infiltrated into retail markets and into scattering, to where the black wealth that we experienced in the 20th century, that black people bust their ass to build. Now, if you want to create subgroups, that's fine, but you can't be so outliers and so outside of it that you create others. Then you become susceptible, and then you get the hawks.
And can I interject? Inside of that, you have people who still don't know what to do, don't understand. In our generation, it's a given because of the manner in which we were brought up, with the parents, the aunties who kind of prepped us when we entered into the world of cosmetology to take some of that and apply the information that we got in cosmetology school to legally, as Cheryl would say, be able to work in a hair salon. But when we have V. Joe says, braid it and pick it out every day with a serious question mark. Now, I'm just going to exaggerate, okay? Because I'm going to exaggerate her question because this is what we get in the hair salon. This is why we're doing World Afro Day. So I'm not saying she's saying it like this, but I'm just going to exaggerate, okay, Cheryl? So here we go. Braid it and pick it out every day. Oh my God. Will it break due to manipulating it every day? I mean, I'm serious, y'all. That is what we get in the hair salon. And to that, we say, yes.
Well, here's the thing. Because natural hair care movement told her or him, Vi, we don't know if you're a man or a woman, okay? We're assuming you're a woman. Now, I want you to understand, first of all, we have been in hair a long time. I'm sure if you are a hairstylist and you've been black, you've had hair a long time, okay? I know what you're talking about in terms of every day, because even in the natural hair world, you are not the type of customer or client that is the exception just because you're non-chemically treated. Because you're non-chemically treated. You're the same person that says, I want it to last. You're the same person. Okay? Now, with that thought process, who told you that something that is not chemically treated, that is not chemically altered, who told you in its virgin natural state, like y'all need, who told you it was vulnerable to be damaged if you touch it every day? Like where do you get the thought process that something's going to happen to it? Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Okay. Now y'all can answer that in the chat, but I'm because I hear it every day. I hear it girl, come on, Kay. Come on, Kay. Them people on YouTube, them influencers. That's why I said, y'all listening to them? Like I told Cheryl, I said, I remember going to the IBS, the International Beauty Show in New York, about 20-something years ago, obviously over 25 years ago, with Aleph Benson. And behind the chair was there talking about this thing called internet, and social media was about to be the new thing. And we was like, what? What you talking about? We about to get on up out of here. But what I did do, I went on ahead and signed up for, because that's a Scorpio in me, the overachiever, perfect patty syndrome. And I signed up for it anyway, okay? But boy, oh boy, did we miss our mark. And if anything, that is where the beauty industry failed the public, because we should have been on these platforms, as a mother would say, from the giddy up, because those are the people who was pushing that dis and misinformation. There is no such thing as hair that doesn't have to be combed daily, if not 2-3 times throughout the day. It's like your hands. You don't wash your hands just one time and say, I wonder would that dry my hands out? Or your teeth. I have these braces. I literally have to brush my teeth after every meal. If I don't, it's a sad situation. You don't want to be around me. So we don't say, but would that hurt your teeth? You can brush your teeth 3 times a day with no problem. Hair requires that it is combed. That's the nature of, it's like your clothes. When you put your shirt on, let me just get that out. Let me just get it out. When you put your clothes on, right, your shirt could be like this. Sure, you're going to pop that collar, ain't you? Come on now. You gonna resituate them boobs in that bra, and you gonna move that jacket and tuck them pants or pull them leggings up or get that greedy grata. If you know what greedy grata is, come on, put it in the chat, okay? You gonna get that greedy grata out. That's what the fabric does. It moves. It won't stay. Boobs don't stay put in the bra. I don't care how much they tell you how big or small they are. It ain't gonna happen, y'all. Okay. And I ain't just because I look like Big Mama. Okay. The jacket, Cheryl collar, the fabric requires that you comb it once, twice a day. Sometimes, especially my hair. If I don't comb this hair at least 4 to 5 times throughout the day, by the time I go to bed at night, this shit gonna be girl bye. If Cheryl went 4 days without replaiting that hair, baby, listen.
Baby, wait a minute.
But y'all think because she light-skinned it, she got good hair, she ain't got to do that. What the French toast and bologna sandwich? What's we doing, y'all? It's a fabric. You put those plaits in the parents put the children. They braid the kids' hair down. We say, okay, now in 2 days, you have to take the braids out and put it back in. They look at me like I done cussed them out.
But
like, what you talking about?
Let's get to the purple gorilla.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all.
Come on, I know.
For me. Come on, y'all.
But what is it still? We love to make. Well, how long does this last? What is it about, even in natural hair, that we don't like to touch it? I just don't like. Who told you that strands on the floor was your hair?
Because it's natural, Cheryl. Something about the word natural means.
How is natural hair vulnerable? How is natural hair vulnerable? Who told us that the shit was? Come on now, y'all got to make it make sense to me now.
She just told you the YouTube, and they believe it now, but they're starting to wake up, right? Oh, the sleeping giant. You know, when they wake up, now they're like, "Oh, you for real?" The parents of the little boys that don't want to comb the hair. You got little boys. I'm sorry, I just said this before, so I'm gonna be vulgar. Don't say it, Cheryl. Should I not say it? Is that what you were gonna tell me? You better not say that again.
No. I was just gonna be.
I'm gonna say it again. And I know it's gonna hurt y'all feelings, or it may be a little vulgar, but I gotta go there, y'all, because natural hair is not black hair, because we ain't promoting this. My brothers at 5, 4, 6, 7, 8 years old, they knew how to get that afro and pick it and pat it down, and they knew my mama was gonna braid that hair down at night, or they kept it low enough so that they could pick it back out and pat it, and they kept a pick in their pocket. Now, if you can hold your
15 times a day.
Come on now. If you can hold your private parts, you got to be able to comb your hair. You got little boys that can hold their penises, but they can't comb their hair. You got grown men who won't touch their hair. This is not black hair care. If you're a natural hairstylist and you have a customer in your chair with a child, and they're not combing the child's hair, shame on you. Because I tell mine, and if they get upset, go on someplace else. Because that's like going to the dentist and getting your teeth cleaned, saying, well, I just paid $75. I'm not about to brush my teeth for the next 3 weeks. Is you crazy? Where's she at in the chat? Come on, the Body Electric Supplement. Braiding hair at night and styling hair during the day, make it make sense, y'all. It's grooming. Let me drop the bomb for her. You can't hurt no hair doing this this what the fabric. Let me drop the bomb for you, sweetheart, because we got to have these conversations and stop trying to, make this to be a little bit more than what it is. So here you go, sweetheart. I'm dropping the bomb for the Body Electric Supplement. I'll ask you, girl. You'll get 2 bombs.
It's grooming. Damn.
That's all, y'all. That's all. That I don't know what the French toast and bologna sandwich. Again, natural hair. It ain't. It can't never be, never have been, never was, never will be black hair. That ain't no black professional in America or in the diaspora, however you say it, diaspora, whatever word you want to say it. And no, it's telling you that you're gonna have a hairstyle that you don't have to comb. Now that Jerry curl, well, that's a whole nother conversation. I'll let Cheryl talk about that one. That one you ain't got to do nothing to, but y'all didn't want that, remember? Oh, follow the drip, follow the drip. So glow. Y'all teased it. Y'all laughed. What Cheryl say? That was our iPhone. Take it away, Cheryl.
The greatest reformulate. We did to white folks shit that white folks do to our shit. And we told them, y'all can't make no money off of it. Why? Well, let's put that black girl, black boy magic on that shit. Reformulated, repackaged it. Boom, boom. We got the music. We made millionaires. We had money all over the place. Had an industrial complex. Boy, we had that changed the gross domestic product of black America. That is STEM before it was STEM. We had STEM before it was STEM. Plain and simple.
But we joked, we laughed it on out of here. Ain't nobody laughed. I remember when cell phones first came out, people thought it was crazy. I remember when the three-way came out, and my grandfather said we could not talk on the phones because that was the destruction of the black family. Because women would no longer bring a man home to introduce him to the grandfather. And he said that's going to be the fall of the black family, and none of my grandchildren can use the phone. And we couldn't use one until he died. I'm telling the truth according to proof. He didn't believe in that telephone. He said that's the devil. No. If you don't need 911, you ain't got no business on. Don't you call me and wish me no damn Merry Christmas. Get your ass over here. Don't you call me asking for no money. We got to understand. I mean, this is what people thought.
Yeah, but no. Okay,
go ahead and address it. Come on. When you don't see
hair growth, you think it is coming from the constant manipulation. The question is not, sweetheart, if that, because that's what we debunk. And we explain it and we break it down as Beauty Under One Roof, baby, in Houston, September 14th through the 15th. But since you cannot be there, okay, I'm going to break it down like this. My wonderful, beautiful black sisters and brothers, we went natural before your brain went natural. You did not have the education to go natural. Because if you understood 1C, 2C, 3C, 4C without having the understanding of it, then you would understand that black, coiled, curly, afro textured hair does not grow in length. It doesn't grow. You won't see the evidence as the white woman that Kilolo put up here the first time.
Brushes the hair 100 strokes.
You don't use length to afro descending human beings on this planet, regardless if they are Afro-Filipino, Afro-Polynesian, Afro-Asia, Afro-European, Afro-Latino,
Peruvian.
Afro hair does not grow, obviously, in a length. It is not possible. It is not part of the growth anatomy. It does not do that. You are talking about straight hair at that point. So even in your natural cult thinking, you are anti-Afrocentric. You're antithetical to what black and Afro natural hair, Afro curly hair, natural curly hair, as Dr. Morrow defined it in 1964. You're going against the principle. You may desire something. What you guys don't understand, you guys are desiring cosmetic, altered hair in a natural cult thought framework. That's what you are
saying. Say that. Right. The other thing, can I add too, when it comes to hair growth, you can't see it. The hair is growing like your ears. Did you guys know your ears grow to the day you die? You know, all people have really big ears. Your ears is the only. They don't look it. Don't cook
Ears
it
and
up.
no,
Look at
ears and
them.
hair. Ears and hair.
Your ear. The ear. They do not stop growing. You don't see it until you get older. And you're like, God, got some big ass ears. Okay, your hair. You can't see that. The hair grows all day, every day, 365. Unless you have a disorder, you couldn't stop it if you wanted to. Now, if you became malnourished, right, and you took some like chemotherapy, you know, something. So there are some things that will do that, but in its
hair loss
natural essence,
right? But hair loss is so on the opposite on the spectrum
right?
of hair.
So anybody need not worry about that you can't see any hair growth. You can see it because I just colored my hair 2 weeks ago, and look at that.
Well, let me ask you guys.
Y'all see that little white hair? There it go.
Right.
It's coming on through now.
But here we go again. Okay, but here we go again. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that as a hair professional, and I do consider myself the best in the world, I'm just gonna say it, but
beep beep.
Do you understand, or do you believe, or should we call it a mental illness, or a lack of, or what we call, which I call Afro dysmorphia? If a Black woman says to me, my hair grows slow, and then as she's going and describing herself, she says my hair doesn't grow at all, and then she comes back to me next couple of weeks and she says, I already, what should I do with this new growth? And I says, well, ma'am, you said your hair don't grow. You can't have new growth and the hair. What do we call that psychosis? And I should not be worried as a professional that my customers and clients are so discombobulated with their thought process about their Blackness and Afroness and their place in the Afro natural world, that they can't even talk about themselves in a way that is making sense. Mm-hmm. It's not making any sense. And so when Key Lolo would call me and say to me as a professional salon owner, they're not, it's bad, it's getting worse.
It's really,
why can a woman do her children's hair, but she can't do her hair? What is going on?
It's the again, and I forgot who put it in the chat. I believe it was Kay, that said it's the social media. The influencers who make this stuff up as they go along, and nobody holds them accountable. Which today, what's up, Chucky? I see you over here on Instagram. We keep saying, God damn, I'm glad y'all set it off, because we got to have the conversation. We was trying not to go there, but once we saw, and I don't want to play the clip because it just keeps messing up, it keeps glitching. But once we saw the so-called viral video of the young, well, it wasn't so-called, it was the viral video from the lady on TikTok who asked people to boycott African braiding shops. That's when I was like, okay, that's it. All right. Now we went there. Okay, now we got to go head on. We got to confront the giant. We got to slay the dragon. The dragon, you know how your kid, your brother or sister can be so spoiled, and you tell your mama you created that monster, you got to destroy it. So I didn't create the natural hair movement, but I'm gonna slay that dragon. It's slayed today officially. We done already got a noose around its neck, and we're gonna drag that dragon down to the ground, and it will never soar again, because it has done nothing but just promoted so much BS. It doesn't make any sense. I mean,
and then in the technical, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but even in the technical part of why and how you guys have managed to create these little terminologies of how you style. You guys have deregulated your place in history, but you also destandardized how the public relates to itself at home.
It's so sad. Like she said, it's the consistent insults from society, both men and women. Hold on, let me just add this here. It's not just influencers. Little boys still tease little girls about their hair and compliment non-Afro-headed girls about their hair, and it will never go away. It
won't go away if the 4C desires to keep creating creams to try to get the 4C hair to be 2C. You guys did it. You guys want Afro textured hair to be something it's not. And you want it to do something that it doesn't do. How many times have you guys made a joke about my hair started this way, but it ended up this way? And then you guys make fun of how the curl of nature and the relationship that it has with humidity and water. You have turned it into a self-loathing joke. Cosmetology did not do that to you. You did it to yourself.
We were the we were the place to come to help. I'm sorry, Cheryl. Excuse me. We were the place, the barbershop and the salon was the place to come to help parents understand the importance of grooming. Because growing up, the bulk of the teasing pretty much came from children with unkempt hair. I mean, I in my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, my very first duped down, dragged out, got my tooth chipped, and that's why I got this shit in my mouth now, okay, was because of my hair. And it was nothing that, oh, your hair, so it wasn't even that long. It wasn't that long, y'all. But you know, to a kid, if it's down here, you know, like the cup, you remember this? You got more than me. And you know, you're putting another cup. Y'all know the routine. So the children, things just seem a little bit different. But the bulk of that, it was coming from unkempt hair. So when we see children who are at risk of being,
just the irony of it is so pathetic to the point where
not to justify it. I just want to say not to justify it. Vijay, I don't want to come across like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the division of hair types and to create hair types and then want a sense of freedom, but it's so obvious that they still suffer from the own internal. You were supposed to start a cultural revolution of naturalness to deal with what the Crown Act was trying to do, but the Crown Act is the noose because yet it did not have the intelligence to create another conversation. To be able to revolutionize, the conversation must be revolutionary.
All right, and on that note. And on that note, that takes us into this month of Black August. And like I said, I want to show the clip. I think maybe I could show a picture. I don't think it'll kick me off. At least show a picture. Okay. All right. So here we go. So like Cheryl said, to be revolutionary, let me take this down. Right. We're going to get to that a little bit more. We're doing good. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Our virtual co-host, Ms. Wike and Sandra, says things are going so well on both on all cylinders. We're doing pretty good here on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. We appreciate you all. This is a very tough conversation that we need to have. And like Cheryl said, as we move into the revolutionary part, which is where the natural hair movement was kind of borrowing some of their taking the lead from the 1960s, you know, Pan-African, but Black Panthers, you know, look at my hair, it's natural. We've all seen that clip. So here we have what's called Black August. And Black August is the month that we pay tribute to true revolutionaries. to people such as Patrice Lumumba. This gentleman up here, Robert F. Williams, I'm not familiar with him, but of course we have Malcolm X. We have Medgar Evers, and then on the bottom near Cheryl, we have Frantz Fanon. If you're not familiar with any of these people, if you want to continue to rock with us and understand why Cheryl and I are the way that we are when it comes to this thing called natural hair and black hair, watch some of these people and you will get a clear understanding of why our stance on natural hair, not ever being black hair, it'll all start to make sense. These men went on to some of these people lost their lives trying to get us educated. And the one book I brought mine, okay, sure. I don't know if you brought, because sure, made me do my homework, okay, because I was not familiar with Black August, okay. But here's a gentleman. His name is Walter Rodney, and he was out of Guyana, okay, not Ghana, but Guyana. And he wrote a book called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. This brother was so off the freaking Richter scale. He was the one who brought sight to the plight of capitalism. And they talk about Marxist and all this socialism or whatever. It's this book that actually got politicians and everybody starting to realize how these oligarchs and all this fancy stuff we're talking about now. Walter Rodney is the man who brought that to the attention of the world, and they killed his ass. Okay. Yeah, and rumor has it, they said the United States has something to do with it, but I ain't for the conspiracy theories. Okay. But this man is no longer with us. Just to give you guys an idea of people who really go out of their way, what a true revolutionary is. The natural hair movement has done none of what Walter Rodney has done. When you got people on a podcast not understanding that Afro hair is made to be combed and braided down and picked out daily, at the most every other day, they're not that. We cannot forget modern day Nicole Hannah Jones. This lady, she been slandered. They got a whole this other guy, Osborne. He got a whole podcast just trying to tear this lady down. We cannot forget Welcome to the Jungle, Kabina Mercer. Okay, and then last but not least, here's my other one. Again, if you don't want to read these books, just go on YouTube and watch these people. But y'all, this is my book from college. Okay, when I was down with the black, I told you I was radicalized by Public Enemy and KRS-One. Okay, but anywho, so here we go. You cannot forget Chancellor E. Williams. Okay, I'm sorry, Chancellor Williams. Now, again, some of the education is very outdated and has been brought up to date. And so some of their claims have been, modified. But in their time, tell them, Cheryl, if you didn't read The Destruction of Black Civilization, God damn it, you ain't black. And you damn sure ain't no revolutionary. You call yourself a revolutionary and you ain't rocking with Walter Rodney, Frantz Fanon, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X. I'm not familiar with Robert Evers, so I ain't gonna perpetrate Patrice Lumumba. Please go check out it's a documentary called Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat. Boy. Go check out Gerald Horne and learn your history on Black August. And Cheryl, you want to add what people in our industry?
Well, let's just say this. I don't have to name them. I'm talking to one. And we are here. We are everyone that's on, in the chat listening. If you are still here and you have been courageous to listen to how we, because one of the things that we've got to understand, it behooves us to get this conversation right. And the reason why, because if we don't, we're going to talk ourselves out of our inheritance. And then you are going to live on the sidelines and see Asians, Europeans, and other people make your combs, sell them back to you, do your studies, scare your black ass out of your home, scare you out of your wealth, scare you out of your heirlooms, scare you out because you don't and refuse to understand it. And it has been my and will be my legacy is to get us back on track so little black girls and black boys can inherit what their their ancestors, because Africa allows us to feed ourselves. Africa belongs to the cosmic principles all day long, but we're breaking the rules. We're breaking the laws. We are lying. We are using the lowest vibrational intelligence we probably had in the last generation. And it's beneath us to be non-capitalists of our own heirlooms. This is our shit. We can do with it what we will, but what we can't do and what we shouldn't do and what we cannot afford to do, and especially when white America is going back. And so we already know that we got to, because they don't have their Sankofa. Ours is built on human principle, ancestral principles, cosmic principle. They shit is called MAGA. They just going back for the hell of it. Because at the end of the day, they need to be more comfortable in their environment. So they're more comfortable with your oppression, your uncomfortability, your restriction, your compression, depression. They're comfortable with that. It's called MAGA. But ours is called Sankofa. That's what ours is called. And so we just got to get about it. And we don't mean no disrespect, but we do.
Yeah, because the conversation is kind of like it's an in your face Dick Tracy. It's not comfortable, but we do kind of have to ramp it up and then kind of bring it back down, because you do have situations like Vijay just said, or Vijay said, it's not just influencers. Little boys still tease little girls about their hair and compliment non-Afro-headed girls about their hair. So how are we helping people in today's times deal with that? Sure, I'll give my take on it, and you can give your take on it. You want me to go? All right. So to parents out here, and aunts and uncles, and grandmas and babysitters, and nanas and au pairs and all of the nannies or whatever, when you're talking about little boys or little girls, because they tease as well, when they tease each other and they like another texture better, I think first and foremost we just have to realize the reality is that people don't have to like your hair. Okay, that's number one. And we have to teach our children that they don't have to like it, just to kind of clear the air. Just maybe it's authentic. We don't know how children are raised, but just like you can give a child, or like I gave my granddaughter some broccoli, and she was like, I don't care, you put cheese on that, whatever, I'm not eating it. Okay, so that's the reality, and we can have those conversations with our children as these situations arise. So first and foremost, we can be honest with our children that child does not have to like your hair. That's number one. Number two, as a parent, please make sure that your child's hair is kempt. It is groomed to your standards. Now, what I think is neat, and what Cheryl think is neat, and what you think is neat, that's on you. But unkempt hair, you are putting your child at risk, to be teased, just like yellow teeth, if the child smells like boo-boo, if they, that is just what comes with the territory. They got pee stains on their clothes. We all know what that's like. You shouldn't do it, but it definitely happens. So again, number one, a child does not have to like the hair. Number two, make sure the child is kempt. Just like you wouldn't send them with their boo-boo in their clothes from like boo-boo and pee stains and, no deodorant. The same applies to hair. And then number three, empower your child by role playing to help them for the clapback. And of course, they can always just walk away, because depending on what school you're going to, like the one I went to, you might get your ass kicked. Okay. So I don't want you to put your child in a situation where they might get beat up or jumped on, because that unfortunately can be the recourse, as it happened to me. So you can teach your child how to speak up for themselves, or if they can, just walk away. So those are my 4 points to any person or child or parent who has a child, that's being teased. Cheryl, how can we help the parents? Because the reality is the teasing will probably never go away.
I will say, I'm not even going to repeat that. It was excellently well said. But what I want the mother, and I'm talking to the mother, not the father, because this is very important. And the mothers play an extremely important role, because everyone's beauty, regardless of who it is, a father, your father, your children's father, the grandparents, the cousins, your brother, everybody's, the communities, everyone's beauty is based on the beauty of a Black woman. Let me make my point, because the beauty of a Black woman is related or relatable to what is going on in the environment. Case in point, if Michelle Obama woke up one day and said she didn't want to comb her hair, she didn't want to do nothing, what do you think Barack would have said? If her beauty started to decline, what do you think that he would grossly have to say? You know what? Let me go home. Let me find out what's going on here. I mean, it is literally an indication that there's something grossly wrong, right? So women have to make sure that they truly understand that everyone's watching and how well she takes care of herself.
I think they don't like that. I think that is what the natural hair movement is trying to fight. I truly believe in my heart that they are trying to force this unkempt, and I see it. There are several YouTube channels, several, even scholars for that matter. They are trying to force that unkempt, low maintenance, protective hairstyle. I don't know what you want to call that, talk or mindset,
Well,
it's just,
I want you guys to understand that grooming and kemptness is not fashion. Grooming does not do anything to self-esteem. Grooming is akin to self-respect. They're not the same thing. And because the society and environment in which we live in the Western Hemisphere, your value is based on how you look. You don't live anyplace else. You live in the Western Hemisphere, where class and peer placement in class and privilege is akin to how you look. Now, with that being said, I'm only worried about another Black young boy or whatever school environment, because it's not really a bunch of white kids and other doing that. It is the boy children and girl children in our own communities that have heard us as women and men say things to how other people look and what is more desirable, because what is more desirable has a set of privileges attached to it. We have to be able to say that to each other, because you just talked about the grooming part, the kemptness, cleanliness. That is akin to self-respect, but it doesn't get the golden ring as that child goes in and feels good about herself because she fits in and everyone likes her. She's not getting all of the signifiers in which self-esteem and self-confidence is based on in a social setting. And us as
and it's also, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That's a cosmetologist.
Go ahead. No,
No, I was just gonna say that for parents, the mixed message, because the child sees you groomed. You know, they see you, even if you somehow, you know, you're not hair savvy or whatever word you want to use.
But
they see you getting up, they see your regimen, that there's a get up.
Our granddaughter needs to see your joy. She cannot see your pain. She cannot see your mismanagement of your damn time. She cannot see that. She cannot feel your frustration through the comb. She cannot feel that. The boy cannot feel your lack of and your stress, because what the beauty process is, the beauty within. It's going to connect around their heart. It's going to connect around their sense of self. It's going to connect around their image and all of those things that we take for granted. So that's why I'm talking, you know, and you touched on the grooming and keptness, but I want you to be mindful.
Yes, I think that's very powerful. When you all agree, I think Instagram, everybody on Instagram is on fire. Mr. Scott Holcomb, Maine Huron. What's up, Chucky? Three Love Boogie, Melanin 88. You know, what's up? I mean, everybody is like, amen, amen, amen. You're over here on Instagram. I'm getting a lot of amens. And again, these are the conversations that are not being had on the other podcasts because of that superficialness. Like, and I could have never said it. I agree with you, Eleanor. Cheryl is just like, she is truly the Amos Wilson. If y'all don't know who he is, go check him out. And the Cornell West of this whole hair thing. Because
crazy.
Just confusing grooming with fashion. And like we said, we live in a country where these things do matter. And we come from a nation. We come from a country where in recorded history, unkempt hair was just it was just the antithesis of what it meant to be a human. I mean, forget male, female, and all. You've heard several stories of them messing the hair up for funeral processions to look like they were in grief. So we had our place. There was a reason for it, but as a practice in modern day times, it's just not best when you have a question like, what do you do with the child who's being teased? And we hope we've given you some backdrop to your role as a parent or a caregiver to help that out. But then as we go with Kay Washington, who says, I hear what y'all saying, but after 10 years, she should have a big afro. And she still has a TWA, a teeny weeny afro. And what are we saying to people who are like, yeah, whatever, y'all, my hair is still, I've been rocking this TW afro since I was 10. What's the issue with that, Cheryl?
Well, let's not approach it like it's an issue. Because at the end of the day,
because that's the way she wrote it. I'm sorry.
Well, no. What I'm basically saying is our job as an industry, as a culture, as a people, as professionals, and especially I'm talking to my natural hair care professionals and enthusiasts, beauty enthusiasts, YouTube enthusiasts, whoever, because we're all in this together, right? At this point, to answer your question is for you to not think that there's a problem, because I want you to understand, though you may want something, sweetheart, you know what your mother and father's generation did to solve that problem? It's called a WIG. Because at the end of the day, the root of our issue is to be and want something that is beneath you to want. You wanting something that is giving you the contrast. It's not your hair. It's your desire that is the issue. And we deal with that in the salon all the time. I can only give you what your scalp, your soil will produce.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make a soil grow apples when I planted oranges. I can't, it's not possible. So if we want length, once again, I just don't understand the natural
I
hair.
think she wants a bigger. I don't think she's talking about length. She means a bigger afro.
Well, how does afros grow? In length. They just don't grow down. You're talking about height, weight, mass. I get it. I understand it.
And you may and you may have to soften that afro up. You know, you may not have enough stuff on it. It may not be coated. You may not be picking it out. You may not be plaiting it down. If you're wearing a bonnet,
right.
if you're putting a bonnet on that afro, baby, the Reverend's design team, we actually sent out an emergency alert. Because it was just that. No, seriously, I will put it. I will show it to. We sent an emergency alert to every customer in our salon. This is a warning, known as a caution. Do not attempt to discus your salt is just like, it's a warning. Do not ever put a bonnet on your head, especially if you have an afro. And these are things that this natural hair movement has. No cosmetologist in the world with no barber would tell any person to put a bonnet on an afro, a bonnet on a locks that's down to here. I mean, dude, you gotta tie afro hair down. I know. Sure, just told you.
But my point is,
I mean, because they don't know. I mean, I know. I mean, I'm sorry. I just want to get that out there because you see the bonnet.
Where did the bonnet?
The bonnet came from the natural hair movement.
I know, but what's the bonnet? What's the bonnet for? And to answer your question, Kay, baby girl, I would have to see it and put my fabulous hands in. I can't really, but me and you would really have profession. But go ahead.
We'll have to see it. Yeah, but freeform locks are considered to not be grooming. Remember, we're not talking about style. If they're clean, you're good to go. We're talking about the free forms that are smelly. They have lint. They got hairs and stuff hanging off of them. Things that you wouldn't want served over your food in a restaurant. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Maybe while you're making love, like, baby, you got to go, get that smoke out your hair. But no, free form locks are definitely, they're down for the crown. It doesn't matter what the quote unquote style is, but grooming, like Cheryl said, let's not confuse grooming with fashion. That's two different things. I think that's a wonderful way of saying that. So yes, freeform locks could go. Yeah, no bonnets. Absolutely. Look at that. What? There it is. I'm telling y'all, we ain't new to this. We true to this. I already knew the bonnet has something to do with it. That's why my last name is Wright. Don't hate the plan, baby, hate the game. That's what we do. We know them. The bonnets is a money grab, but y'all that's why I said, why y'all put bonnets? The only time a black woman put a bonnet on her head was before she got married. To hold the hair out the way, to put some makeup on, or to slide the dress over so you can help get the shirt or the outfit on without messing up your curtain. Then you combed your hair out when you got finished. But y'all don't go to the professionals.
What are you guys? I know, but you guys protecting it from the pillowcases or something? Like, what?
Yeah, you putting a bonnet. You ain't got that. Ain't our history. We don't even. Well, that ain't even us. That ain't us. You put the bonnets on the whole. If you got your hair down to the floor, you may not want to keep it as a style because you can't go to sleep at night. But you can't do that as a practice, y'all. I'm just telling the truth according to proof. Bonnets are the ultimate no. Africans, we tie afro hair down because that afro is going to do what? Whew. And then like popcorn and that bonnet and that afro is scrubbing that scalp and you got more. Ain't no telling what you got on it. You better take them bonnets and throw that crap in the garbage. As you thought your teeny weeny afro was teeny now. If you know what me and Cheryl know, you better throw them bonnets in the garbage and going to get you a do-rag and call it a day. No bonnets. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Sure, have you ever sold a bonnet? Have your father ever? We ain't never even sold no bonnets. Like, there were no bonnets. It was just for holding the hair out your face for some makeup.
Let me tell you, we have some really great surprises for you guys, but I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all making
bonnets cute, but you be bald headed.
Y'all making
go mess with the bonnets if y'all want to. Go ahead on.
Yeah, y'all making
Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Dang. I like my bonnet. That's why your Afro teeny, baby. Money grab. They gonna get that money from y'all.
Right. Y'all making Asia rich. I mean,
come on, Madam Flair. Let me drop the bomb for her. And we see this supposed to be the channel for the customers, right? But Cheryl said y'all be sliding through. Come on, I'm gonna give it to you. Cheryl said y'all be sliding through. But I'm like, sure, ain't no hairstylist on us on Mondays. Cheryl like, shh. Come on, Madam Flair. Somebody love us. Let me give her a big round of applause. Throw them all away. And if somebody got something to say, send them.
And wait,
girl.
And wait a minute. When my Caribbean sisters, my West Indian sisters, when they get mad, they say, throw them away. Just throw them away. I don't want to hear it.
Throw them away.
Throw them away.
Be done with it. Be done. So when we talk about speaking of the Caribbean sisters, as we talk about our African sisters, and you better get that bonnet up if you know what I know. If you know what I know, you ain't got to, because your hair gonna give it up. It ain't gonna stay on your head. You go have some pack down. Ooh, I would go on the set, just some nappy. Ooh, that stuff gonna be frizzy, rubbing out. Oh my goodness gracious. Y'all need to look up industrial psychology. They watching y'all. It's people who, that's what they do for a living. They have a degree in industrial psychology. Let's watch. Here they go. What they say, show up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, buy it. They got y'all number. We call that in the hood, they pulling y'all whole cards. I'm just telling y'all the truth. They ain't doing nothing but snatching whole cards. If you play spades, you know what I'm talking about. Don't do it. Don't show your hand. Come on now. Drop the bonnets. Drop the bonnets, free your afro, and the rest will follow. Tie that back, braid it up and tie it down. That's what we do. Should the scarf be satin or silk? What is this, Cheryl? What y'all talking about? Ain't no black folks spending no money on no silk scarf.
But what I don't understand, why are you guys
just go and get the cheap satin scarf?
Why are you guys babying the most strongest, resilient, non-chemically treated? Isn't that why natural. You guys don't do?
Ain't no chemicals on it.
Why is natural hair so? Why is natural?
You better not spend no money on no silk scarf.
Yeah, why is it so? You know what I mean? Why is it so vulnerable? All of a sudden, it's so fragile. It's this, it's that. It needs this, it needs that, it needs this, it needs that. Like, what are you guys talking about?
That's why your edge is gone. You don't put no. You can't even sleep in satin. You ever try to sleep on some satin sheets? I know y'all ain't having no.
It's gonna be a
set. It's gonna be a good sex. I'm sorry, children. They give you a good sexual experience, but they ain't got nothing to do with no hair. Y'all put it to make you look rich. You know, you got the little silk outfit on. You better not get no sweat on it. You're going to be looking like a damn. Don't nobody even wear silk. Ain't nobody wearing no silk too much. Come on now. There we go. A do-rag or cotton. That's what we do. It's black thing. That's what cosmetologists, black hair industry makes.
I know, but what
do-rags.
What is the covering about? What is covering strong,
protective,
brilliant, natural, black, like you know, unforgiving, and it's strong, and like what is going on with the covering of it? And then y'all want to talk about white folks. You know, they know they had the T-Shine laws, and they told us that we had to cover it up. But boom, 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 whoop, 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 bam, bam, shika, shika, sham, boom, bam. The Black History. They told our stuff we had to cover our hair. Y'all covering it. Now, come on now.
Ain't no Muslim, ain't no hijab. Y'all cut that out. Ain't no Muslim. Come on now. You don't be doing that stuff. Y'all,
I'm serious. Because when I go to bed, I go to bed. I go to bed just like that.
Listen, I ain't gonna tell no lie. I wish my best friend Hattie Mae was here. I ain't learned how to wrap my hair till about like 3 years ago. I'm vain. I think I'm going to bed cute. I ain't going to bed with no tie down on my hair. Now, I mean, sometimes if it get a little hot, I get it, because sometimes I do tie it down. But I wish Monica was in the chat. They'll tell you, I'm going to sleep. Y'all,
I go to
I'm
sleep
get up in the
late.
morning.
All I do is this because I don't go to sleep and and then boom, and I just lay it down. Boom.
Look at the Body Electric supplements. These bonnets are the crown act all over again. That's what I'm saying. Let me drop the bar for you. Look, you just gonna take over the damn show. Come on now, girl. You own it tonight. She be on that kryptonite. She on that kryptonite tonight. There you go. Big hand clap for my home girl. The Body Electric, we love your mind. We love the way you're thinking. Somebody get us some. You feeling us though. But y'all leave this nonsense alone. It ain't nothing but the money. I was said once, I said it twice. It's nothing but a money grab. That's all it is. We hope that you guys can really see. You can, if you want to tie it down, you can do that. Some people sweat. It's a lot of reasons why you wrap your hair. It will keep it neat so when you comb it down. If you got a smooth style like mine, but you got to get up. You got to comb the hair. So so in some instances, tying it down can definitely make a big difference. But the bonnets are absolute no. Do-rags and all of that stuff, you good to go. And silk and all that, I don't know nothing about. That ain't got nothing to do with black folks. But if y'all want to do it, I'm cheap. I'm not buying no silk scarf. And if you think you're buying a silk scarf out of the Chinese, y'all better not fall for that. They ain't selling no silk out them stores. Y'all know how much silk costs, okay? So yes, the do-rag is fine. Let's wrap it up with the boycott Afro, the black hair African salons. We're gonna wrap this up. WK says, what was that all about? I'm gonna try to show a little bit of it. I hope it don't mess up, but here we go. This is the boycott. Here we go from Miss Shay.
Hi guys. So listen, I made this post to boycott the African braid shops. And honestly, I didn't expect it to pick up as much momentum as it did, but it did. And I think it's a good thing. And like I said, I don't just talk about it, I bees about it. So since it's picking up so much momentum, since we are in a paradigm shift, and since we as Black Americans are really sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of telling them we are sick and tired of being beat, battered, bullied, and abused by every ethnicity that is not a Black American, I have picked a date, and I say starting August the 1st, for the entire month of August, we boycott African-owned businesses. That includes restaurants, hair salons, braid shops, etc., etc. It's time to show them that our Black American dollar is with
there you have it, Weekend. Somebody went to an African owned braiding salon and had a bad experience and decided that us Black Americans, I think they're taking the essence, they're just going a little bit too far. How many people agree with the boycott of the African braiding shops? Let's kind of see before you get into that bootay. All right, let's see what you got over here on Instagram. Anybody agree with this boycott African braiding shops or salons? Okay, let's see what the chat says. So Kay, y'all, oh gosh. Okay, let's see. Kay say boycott everybody. I hear you, Kay. Africans don't like us. No way. Whew. Yes. Oh my gosh. Damn, give me some tissue. It's going down in the chat. It's unanimous so far. Let's see. No, Vito say no. Okay, we got one no.
Oh shit.
That is unbelievable. I don't let random folks in my hair anyway. Okay. Confele, where you at? If you still here?
What is quiet ass?
Confele called us up about this before this even happened. We told him what to do. But anywho, Cheryl, now y'all already know. That is the most ludicrous. That's the dumbest shit. That's some dumb shit. I mean, no against that's your choice. I'm not calling you stupid, but you know, nah, you boycotting the African business. Cheryl, you still writing your notes. Cheryl's over there. Braiding shops.
I'm just saying. I'm just trying to.
Let me hear. I do have a video where a lady had a response about.
Okay.
Do I have it? Is this the one? Nah. Oh yeah, here she go. Here she go. Here she go. Now everybody complaining about the. Here she go.
And this summer, when that woman tells you the price for her braids, pay it or don't. Pay it or don't. I don't want to hear. But she don't even shampoo and blow dry. For years, y'all was going to the African aunties. There wasn't no shampooing nor no blow drying going down. Quit it. I don't want to hear. But she want to charge $350. Pay it or don't. It either works for your budget or it doesn't. It's absolutely insane to expect somebody to stand on their feet for 6-7 hours, braiding your hair to the floor for $100. It's not gonna happen. Not on my watch.
So that's an American. I'm still trying to decide, how do you decipher between an African braider and an African American braider? Because according to the natural hair movement, it's the braiders that's messing up everybody's hair and edges. So which braiders is it? Is it the African American braiders? Is it the African braiders? I'm not. I cannot even understand a boycott of African braiders.
You know,
because if you go to a business, I don't care if they had a policy to discriminate, like no Americans, or let's charge American women more. If it was just an overt policy, like Target or something, I could see a boycott. But if you had a bad experience, like the lady said, just go home someplace else. I mean, you can write a review, but you don't encourage a whole community of people to boycott. If you think Africans don't like you, that's like saying white people don't like black people. You know, like we don't believe that, do we? Y'all? Like y'all, some of y'all best friends white. I mean,
but it is of no consequence if they don't like you. See, once again, black people keep conflating the conversation. Economics do not require intimacy or intimate relationships. I don't give a damn. And it's not a teachable moment, and I'm not trying to be cruel, and I don't think we're trying to be cruel to someone that we have and could possibly have. And see, black folks don't in America, and I'm talking about foundational ADOS black folks, Afro-Americans, indigenous.
I don't know FBA, you know, okay. FBA, ADOS.
We need to concentrate on changing the narrative and changing the leverage of how people treat us instead of just boycotting. And I don't necessarily see, because this is a teachable moment. This is a real teachable moment, because one of the things that braiders, while your black ass was so busy trying to deregulate, you know the ones, you know, and the mothers of that particular movement, Pamela Farrell and Dr. Joanne Cornwell, and all y'all braiding and locking, trying to.
What's that lady from Essence? She was all right. She was in it. I'm gonna find her name. Keep going. She gonna get me, but I'm gonna talk about her ass too. Go ahead.
But You saw the moment because they also had the Golden Comb. They also had other things that did celebrate and thank Black American women for patronizing them and giving them a source of income. But at the end of the day, Black folks get lazy because of our lack of economic profit sharing and vision and innovation. We are just susceptible, and we think that boycotting people is the answer. It may punish, but it doesn't teach, and it definitely doesn't course correct. And so we need to decide what we're going to do. But braiders and locticians, y'all dropped the ball on getting that sector and faction of professional and beauty people into helping them into going in. Okay, because what you did was you thought that the state level was going to do it. You thought that the state level and the cosmetology boards and all of that. Once again, you guys are relying on the very industry that you deregulated from, and you don't want anything to do. You want them to help you out in terms of making them professional and having a code of conduct. That is not how that was supposed to go. You guys are supposed to reach in and educate them in how to service your community. If you're going to come in here, I want your ass on time. I want you to open. I want these damn places clean. And that's why we have Chamber of Commerce. Our asses is not organized enough to where we are taking care of business. And so, I know, go ahead.
I mean, to me, that's what you get for Cracker Jack, I mean, they was going, watch our documentary, The Narrative. Please go and watch it. Because, I mean, it's like Barbara Sizemore said. We tried to tell y'all, don't do this. Do not take this braiding thing and leave shit out. Because now what everybody's complaining about, it boils down to something that a regulatory body could have helped intervene and reduce the likelihood. So check out our documentary, Let the Truth Be Told About Afro Hair, The Narrative. We don't control the narrative. We had people out here, like Cheryl said, misrepresenting and exploiting a situation by saying that these braiders did not need to be licensed. And the educational, there is no educational structures, or how do you even know who's a vetted? I mean, I can't even get it out. But that whole braiding thing, they just did it to themselves. We tried. I mean, in Ohio, that's how I met Fatu, an African, because there was a myth that in Africa, you don't need any education to braid hair. When you go over to London, you don't need a license. They don't recommend it in London, but they do prefer that you have it. In Africa, it's not in every country on the continent, but for the most part, they are for education and regulations for different reasons that we have here in America. And if you watch our podcast with Fatu, she talks about why regulation for their industry was really, really important. But again, that's why we have our House bill that we introduced, House Bill 414 here in the state of Ohio, with former state representative Elliot Forehand, because Cheryl was able to point out that even though we had this tiff, we were actually saying the same thing. And that is, this education is an absolute must, and regulation does serve its purpose, because you would not have an issue about uncleanness. And if you did, there would be a governing body to report. You can report the Revis design team. When Cheryl worked in the hair salon in New York, if you went in there and she dropped a comb on the floor or something you didn't like, you can report Cheryl, and Cheryl could be held accountable. She may not necessarily lose her license, but she could be held accountable in various ways for that. But you guys didn't want it. So them Africans that was braiding all like that, they ain't doing nothing African Americans ain't doing. So I don't know how you decipher who's qualified, who's not qualified. And now they have the texture experts that's pleading, because New York had a standard of 500 hours. but I think this year they reduced it to 30. But don't quote me on that. If I got it wrong, please correct us in the chat. But that's what they talked about on Instagram.
Sound like a plan. I think we've
yeah, the documentary is right here on YouTube. Um, here's some advice. Kay says, stop letting them get all the way through the hairstyle, and not saying you don't like it. But if you're trained as a professional, again, professionals would kind of walk you through the hairstyle as you're going along, and because some people are afraid to not do it, but you should be able to do what Tiki is talking about.
And not only that, I think that your little Riley last Thursday said it. Do 1-2 nails and see, and stop and say, do you like this? Is this the color? Because of course, because once you do give them that threshold, then that is where a point you cannot go beyond. They are bought in.
Right. And your point, Madam Flair. So here they're changing the laws October 1st. You don't need a license to blow dry, braids, locks, and natural styles, but you need a license to shampoo. It just doesn't make sense. Well, it should, because Cheryl talked about the dangers of what's in water, and then there's that ignorance, again, that braiding doesn't have any knowledge behind it. I'm kind of struggling here, Cheryl. So they just kind of work that out. And they don't have a license. What they're giving them is a permit. Is probably a better word. It's a permit to work under a licensed professional who's going to help them navigate that washing. And Cheryl's going to explain why that permit holding for a shampoo is very crucial, given what happens in water, and then the ignorance, to your point again, of why you don't need a license. But Black folks did that. That ain't nothing. We cannot blame that one on white people. We push that narrative that you don't need any education because your grandmama taught you. I mean, come on.
But you guys,
really. So take it away as we wrap it up, as you can clear that up.
Yeah, you guys are forgetting you deregulated. The natural hair movement deregulated. They brag about it. They are very clear that they are proud about the deregulation process of themselves. And you have to remember, it happened at least 6 years before Y2K. It was already moving. It was already doing that because it was locks. Y'all keep forgetting the lock era. The locks and braids were not African. We're not there yet. Stop. You got to just go chronological. And you did ask me to do something chronological, didn't you, Ladosha? Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why is that now I want you guys to pay attention. Blow dry. Right? Part. Braid. Lock. Right? What else is up there? You took it down. Anyway, but they don't need
all dry braids, locks, and natural styles.
Right. All of those are what we call finishing styles. They're not fundamentals. Okay. Fundamentals can have and be akin to what we call the transfer of germs, bacteria, fungi, and things of that nature, because water, once the hair is wet, that's foundational at that point. Okay. The blow drying and all of that stuff, those are what we call finishing. Once she braids it, she's finished. Once I wet it, it is the foundation in the beginning of something. Okay. Right. And so that is where their line of demarcation in terms of the standard of where, because water carries so much more impactful in terms of being able, because the baseness of grooming and the base level of hygiene is the continent. You have to remember, we didn't write that rule. That's a European rule. Okay. That's because white folks have a bad, horrible anthropological relationship with water. Okay. And so water is the baseline of how germs, bacteria, fungus, okay, get into the scalp, ears, crevices, and skin, because water and skin goes together. Water and scalp goes together. Water, what resets the hair? Water, right? And so water is so foundational, and I think that that's where they draw the line with
Right.
the real 360, 900 hours, 1,500 hours, and giving the boutique license, if that makes sense.
Right. So hopefully, Madam Flair, that'll help it make sense, which I would agree that they definitely want to have some type of a permit to work alongside, because water is definitely a game changer in the world of hair, nail, and skincare. So they are on target, but it's just, again, that just goes to show you when and I'm not talking about you, Madam Flair, but even the dumbing down of shampooing. There's a rich history in my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, about shampooing that speaks to what Cheryl said in more detail. And we just hope that you guys understand, our position here when it comes to that topic of natural hair not
Absolutely.
being black hair. And I hope we've laid out a really strong argument. We are going to go on and invite now these organizations. These organizations have pitched to be a source of solution, if I'm correct. And I will drop the article in the chat so you guys can read it for yourself. And this is coming from an organization called Texture Experts. And the article is written by Angela Walker, who we will reach out to her and see if we can get her over on Planet Pluto Pseudo. But the three organizations that they are recommending to offer the African braiders, not the African Americans, but the African braiders, is going to be. Here are three organizations that the African braider community can look into to enhance their services better and serve those of us who are huge fans of their art. And you have the NHSEA, I think that's NSEA. You have psychotherapy, and then you have an organization called Strands. So NSEA is dedicated to protecting and elevating and unifying the natural hair industry by upholding the highest standards through education, certification, advocacy rooted in tradition, innovation, and expertise. Psychotherapy uses hair as an entry point to mental health. And this helps hair professionals become powerful and culturally aware of mental health supporters right from the chair through self-paced certification. This is, again, a solution for the African braiders. And the last organization is called Strands. And so this organization connects stylists with dermatologists to work hand in hand, leading to better results for their shared clients. And this was created following the success of their founder's dermatologic salon, Peter Kendrick. Okay. So these are the three organizations that we're going to reach out. And of course, to this young lady who wrote the article. And let's see if we can get some of this cleared up. I'm definitely the emphasis for African business owners, that just kind of catches me, but I'm sure they offer it to everybody, but I'm just saying. So we're going to get them on and we will see what they're talking about. Okay. I think we got everything covered here. You guys, so they rocked it out with us for 2.5 hours. You said this was probably going to be our biggest podcast yet, and obviously you were right, because everybody rocked it out. We appreciate you guys. This was content heavy, and we just couldn't condense it if we wanted to, and by the conversation you guys had it, you guys kept it going.
And let me say this, if I can ask you guys one last question. What is the difference in the feel? Get emotional, feel emotional intelligence. What is the difference between the African braider and the Afro-American braider?
Anybody want to answer? What's the difference between an African braider and an African American / black braider? What is the difference?
Now, for those who don't remember the braids of the 1960s, I'm talking about the 1960s and 1970s, in the early 1980s.
Let's see if we got a response. What's up, IG? Anybody on IG want to take a? Let's see. What is the difference between an African braider and an African American braider? And while y'all doing that, we'll just show this last clip where an African woman did come back and says that she wanted to apologize on behalf of the braider. So here's a little clip while you guys answer. Again, what is the difference between an African American hair braider and an African braider? And here is her apology. Is this it right here? Did I get it? I think that's it.
No matter what happens on August 1st, we wanted to come to our platform and say something that nobody else has said. We would like you guys to know that
I'm sorry. What's up, nieces? This is Nadine. This is not one of those usual videos where Brandy and I make for commercial purposes. This is one of those videos that I have to make with a heart full of sadness. I know that you have seen videos and videos about the drama happening in African shops where our client get disrespected, insulted, humiliated, and it has been the top one topic going on TikTok. I took my time, I watched it, and I'm here today because deep inside me, my whole soul wants to say, I'm sorry. I am truly sorry.
no matter what happens on August 1st, we wanted to come to our platform and say something that nobody else has said. We would like you guys to know that
I'm sorry.
She is apologizing on behalf of the African braiders and speaking to all of the, there are several videos on all of social media platforms, but she spoke of TikTok, of just bad experiences. But in the meantime, what is the difference between an African American braider and an African braider? So let's see. We got some responses here. So here we go. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Supposedly we grew here and they flew here. Excuse me. No offense. Thank you so much, Tiki Tiki. All right. Second one. Sisters are tired of the disrespects, tight braid, price gouging, and leaving for long periods of time. Now, are these African Americans that you're talking about, or would this be Africans, Miss K? And then the last one we have, I would say the history of African American braiders might understand the plight we went through in a white country. Africans do not understand the degradation the African Americans went through in the country. And Kay is referring to Africans when she said they are tired of the disrespect, tight braids, price gouging, and leaving for long periods of time. And then one more. Thank you guys so much. And again, this is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. You are officially on the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair. We're talking about the natural hair movement faces industry backlash, but it's really Ladosha and Cheryl's backlash because the industry we don't agree with them. Okay. All right. So, but so far, professionals are agreeing with us. And the last one, it's from our virtual co-host. Thank you so much, Wike. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We're going to play that before Cheryl responds. I'm confused about the price gouging part. I see us African Americans charging more than charging more than the Africans. But before Cheryl answers this and we close this out, Wike and Sandra says now is a good time for you to do this to help change the narrative about the natural hair movement facing industry backlash. Here we go, guys. All right, Cheryl, what you say as we wrap it up? 2 hours and 39 minutes in. Y'all ain't playing tonight. What you say about the difference between African braiders and African American braiders?
I think that some of the answers were correct in how they are immigrants. They're immigrants, and they are here to make a living. They are getting desperate. They have not been taught, and they are what we call a labor force. It's a labor force. They're rogue, and they're not educated. But if you think about it,
neither are African American braiders.
Makers what?
African American braiders aren't. They're not educated either, mind you.
But that was not my point.
Mm-hmm. I know. I just had a slide and I'm ghetto.
But they're not educated to have, because you have to remember, and I'm talking about African American braiders used to be in salons. That's where they
not
started.
The ones not these texture experts that you're talking about.
Right. I'm not trying to like cookie cut. I'm not, or just cherry pick. And we're talking about the whole internet in 1960s. Braiders, when you saw afros and cornrows and those wonderful, gorgeous hairstyles on Cicely Tyson, and you saw hair braiders, right? We were American braiders connecting culturally to Africanness. We weren't trying to be African, we weren't trying to do that. But let me make the point. Let me drive this home. Let me land. Is that one is a career that is akin to industrial cultural standards. One is purely an immigrant labor force. And that is one of the reasons why there is and I don't know how I feel about having this Black woman look like me, and I'm looking at her and she's apologizing and she's groveling. I'm not comfortable with my people groveling to me, because that is not the point of what we're saying. And then all I can remember is a conversation that I had with the man called the King of Lock. And I don't know who's pouring in. And I don't know how I could leave with my hair tight. I don't know how I let you finish. I don't even know how professionally I do not stop her right there.
But that just happens from both. We hear it from African American stylists and African. I mean, the whole trichology movement is coming. It's an offshoot.
Right. And here we go. And I understand, because we have to be so careful, because when we say button, and I understand. At the same time, in addition to what you guys are saying, is that the dashiki, afros, and cornrows and beads of 1960 and 1970, those two eras were done in the salon, and some of them were done at home, and they were braiders. But it was a little culturally different. We were identifying with Mother Africa, but we weren't Mother Africa doing the art form, because the art form was aching. Because you did it at home, but if you did it in the salon, you had to have a license, because most hairstylists and weavers started out as braiders. They could braid. I could see most people say most cosmetologists can't braid these days, but that was foundational in 1960s. And so, we just, need to tank it out to where we don't hurt each other culturally, because we're not trying to go ground zero culturally.
Right. Yeah. The resolve is always going to lie in education and training. I think some regulation would help, as in any industry. People talk, well, you don't need a license to be a chef. No, but you need a permit to open up a restaurant. You know, they have a regulation there for a reason, to make sure that you don't have but so many mice and so many roaches. You
Right.
know,
But
I
here,
mean, they know y'all gonna have some, but you know, you can't be just having mice crawling all over the place at a restaurant. You know,
no, but what's the
so
difference between a chef and a cook?
I don't know.
One knows how to have what? The techniques. Here we go again. I think Miss Eleanor said the background of the education is different. I like that last line of whatever she said earlier in the program.
Yeah.
We have, because if I want to get mad and educate you, I want to get mad and fill your head with something. I want to get mad. I want to show my madness in the dialogue. I want to show my anger and frustration in the connection of you, and draw you nearer and make sure that we're on the same page. I don't want to ostracize you because I didn't let you break my whole goddamn head, and I knew when you was starting at the damn tip right here that we was not going to have a good session. And so we have to make sure that because I know, we were just talking about practice, makes perfect. No, it doesn't. The right practice makes perfect. Imperfect being leaving that room to improve and to expand and to learn more.
And those complaints, that could be said to a hairstylist. Where I wrote on somebody, I have a 4.9 star review on Google. It's not 5 for a reason. We do have complaints that we charge too much. We do have some complaints that we didn't have the best attitude. But this is how we get better. Don't boycott the industry. Somebody wrote in the chat that now we see, salon deserts. We don't see as many salons. People are running from accountability because a lot of people don't list their businesses so that they can be held accountable. They stay and they hide behind these apps and everything. And this is what you get, So I say level it up through education, like Cheryl said, and some regulations, so the public can have some protection for them. There should be a way that you can report some people, like in our industry. It's not a Band-Aid, but it helps. But as we wrap this up, here's our last video. And this is from a gentleman who's talking about how we can bring about a resolve in the spirit of Black August, as he talks about some of the people who were true revolutionaries. So here we go.
But that didn't supersede the major contradiction of how the capitalist ruling class was treating all of us down on the ground, and that the only way forward would have been unity. And I think he was always, in his writings and his application, was always pushing that idea. We were pushing that idea. That's the only way out of this whole situation, is for us to unify. And divide and conquer only serves Caesar.
Cheryl had no clue that I was going to have that video. And that just goes to show you, like I said, this is what we do. We know that the only resolve is going to be unity. And we have to take lead from the people who truly did some revolutionary things, such as, and we'll put their pictures up again. And Cheryl thought it was important. She called me in the middle of the night and I got nervous, like, oh my God, I don't know anything about Black August, but I made it my business. And she said, I think you do. So again, it only makes sense that we do what Cheryl said at the end of the day, which is to unify. And our best resolve is to get together and get everybody educated and create a standard. Some people ain't going to cut the mustard. That's just the way it goes. And how do we know? Ask Patrice Lumumba. Ask Robert F. Williams. Ask Malcolm X. Ask Medgar Evers. Ask Frantz Fanon. And if you don't believe in the whole spirit thing, just go read their books. Go right here on YouTube and and educate yourself more about these gentlemen. There were some ladies too, not just Angela Davis, not to limit her, but so many others. But
Barbara Sizemore, Ella Baker, Fanny, even Rosa. Y'all don't know Rosa was a joke.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. There were so many revolutionaries, and this is what it's going to take in our industry is a Black August effect, and we should take a note out of the playbook from the gentleman there, and from Cheryl as usual. The Cornell West Amos Wilson of cosmetic trichology. We appreciate you guys. I cannot believe y'all stayed on this podcast with us this long, but we
it was Black
she
August
said that this is going to be a good one.
Cincinnati. It was Black August when Key Lolo said, "Get your ass up here to Cleveland so we can get our asses in that car and go to Columbus." That's Black August all day, right?
Yes. And the name of the documentary again is A Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, and that's French COUPD etat apostrophe ETAT. I will put that link in the chat so you guys can check it out again. It's a soundtrack to a coup d'etat. It's in French. So you're gonna have to read underneath, But anywho, it's very, 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 very powerful. And again, if you check out any of these people that we talked about, Nicole Hannah Jones, we talked about Chancellor E. Williams, we talked about Walter Rodney, and we also talked about Corbina Mercer. Okay. So check these people out, if you will. And Cheryl, we appreciate you so much. Everybody on all platforms. This was a very tough discussion to have. We're going to continue the discussion, and we will be back next week. Where is my phone here so I can tell you guys? Thursday, of course, we're going to be with Auntie Dr. Joy talking about fitness and the beauty industry. And then we'll be back next week, and we're going to talk about those organizations. There's so many, not just those. We're going to look into them. In the meantime, I am going to invite them on and see if they will come on and just give us their take on what's happening here. So we have 3 more topics in this. I think you guys are going to love this journey that we're going to go on as we get you guys geared up for beauty under one roof. If you are a licensed professional, please plan to join us in Houston this September. That's Sunday, September 14th, and Monday, September 15th in Houston, Texas at Beauty Under One Roof Afro Hair Summit. It's happening this September. Cheryl and I were going to be teaching. Some other people will be there. It's not just about us, but they're going to be just a wonderful event. Okay. Is that it, Cheryl? We got everything covered?
You know what I want to say? Because we've seen a lot of videos.
Say yeah?
Yeah. I want you guys to remember the color purple. And there's a scene where Suge Avery and Celie are walking. They're walking through the fields on a nice, wonderful, warm summer day. Could have been Sunday. But she is describing the color purple and what happens, and she wonders if God really dislikes us walking past the color purple and not recognizing it. Just looking at it, how beautiful it is. And I would like you to draw that about what you see in the mirror. And that is the foundation. That's how you should really approach Blackness and how you look at yourself and how you feel, because that will serve you more in the most difficult of what you may not like about yourself, what you may not like. But it is important that we at least look at the color purple and look at ourselves and say, wow, I'm here. I may have, and be able to be open to just another perspective, another context. So we can, we can fix, we're not fixing you. We just want to make, if it's not satisfied with your hair or the length or whatever the case may be.
Just
but
be
we
aware.
need, absolutely.
Yeah, just be aware that, You matter in the landscape, in the backdrop. You know, all of this stuff that we think it doesn't matter. You are a part of a bigger picture, and our goal is to truly unify. So rock with us on this journey as we confront the natural hair movement as they face the backlash, because it's time to clear it up, and let's continue to connect and liberate. We'll be back here on Thursday with Auntie Dr. Joy, and we thank you guys so much. You know what we say when we're signing out, right? A whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and for sure a whole lot of hair. But check it out. Now remember, see the color purple, see yourself. If you ain't got it, don't want it. I don't even mean that much that you can't stand the hair. You cut it off anyway. You got some bald patches. We keep telling y'all, please, whatever you do, don't even worry about it, because all of it and you are beautiful too. Thank you guys for rocking out with us for 3 hours. You guys are definitely down for the crown. We love you guys. And don't forget, like, share. Please share this and subscribe. And everybody who was new to the chat, please come back and join us. We thank you so very much as we grow this channel in an authentic and loving way. Cheryl, I love you so much.
I love you too, sis.
All right.
You guys are awesome.
Good night. Thank you, WK, and thank you, Sandra and LB and everybody else. We love you guys very much. LB. Cheryl, you ready for the chit chat tonight?
I'm ready.
Bam, bam. He or she said, cancel this damn show. They hate it. What? Hold on. Wait a minute.
Make black hair great again.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now,
We're coming, get our check.
Cheryl Morrow, the one, the only, the hair oracle.
Well, I think it was Red Dot, and then we also had a cosmetology school instructor in the chat, Miss Denise West, Michelle Allen, Miss Foster. Dang, I missed your hey! It's always nice to see Miss Foster in the chat. Michelle Allen, you know how much we love you too.
What? About a whole lot of peace. Cheryl, you order that in a bag of chips.